Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I have another card video for you today, and this one is going to show how I made my Mother's Day card using the Lawn Fawn Love and Breakfast stamp set. This stamp set I got from my sister for my birthday last summer, and I love it. It is just the cutest stamp set I've ever seen. So I decided to use this to create my Mother's Day card. I didn't have the Mum and Me stamp set at this point, so I really needed to improvise with the stamps I had, and Love and Breakfast is, I think, more of a Valentine's Day stamp set, but I decided to take a different spin on some of the elements and create a Mother's Day card with it. So to begin, I'm stamping out the toaster. I'm stamping off the face. I've messed that off so it doesn't get ink on it, and I've taken that off there, as you can see. And so I want the focus to be the next stamp that I use. So instead, I'm just stamping a little heart on the toaster in lieu of a face. And then here I'm stamping the main object of my card, and that's the two little pieces of toast, and they have little faces on them. When I stamped my toaster, I forgot to take off the tape at first, and I stamped a messy toaster. So I just X'd that out because I couldn't stand to look at it. It was pretty messy. So here I'm just coloring it in with my Copic markers. I've sped this up so it doesn't take as long to watch, but I wanted to leave all the steps in so that you guys could see how I do the shading and the blending and that sort of thing, and where I put my shadows. So with these, I'll also list the Copic color, the colors that I use in the description below. This set here, these three that I am using, the purples, I use these quite a bit. They blend really nicely together. They're a really nice set of high level, middle level, and dark level tones. They blend really nice together. They all work well together. So I use these quite a bit on a lot of coloring that I do. And so I'm just showing you here how I'm just adding the shading and kind of adding some dimension and depth to the coloring for this object. There's a lot of fussing that goes in. The dark is really, really dark, so I want to make sure that that's really blended out nicely and falls in line and just looks nice and smooth overall. The other color that I'm using here is a trio set of dark brown, medium brown, and light brown, and I also use these a lot as well. I've added these colors to the feet and the handle of the toaster, and then I'm using it to also color in the toast. So I can tie those two elements together by having a little bit of color in both. That way I don't have a spot color on one item and not the other, and it doesn't take away or distract from the main focal point of my card. Here also I'm using a light pink Copic marker to color in the heart on the toaster, and I'm adding the cheeks, the little cheeks to the toast as well. These two toasts are so cute. I love them. I just think they are adorable. Anything that has faces on it like this just melts my heart. I love them. So I'm pretty excited about this card, and that I was happy that I was able to come up with a way to use it in a unique way that was a little bit outside of what it was intended for. So my main theme of my card is that my mom and I are the toast, and she is my adventure buddy, as you might have seen in the opening image. So that's what's on the front of the card. So here I'm just putting the dies on the stamps after they've been colored. I've taped them down so they don't shift, and I've run them through my Sizzix BIGkick just to cut those out. And now I'm going to do a watercolor background for the card. My mom's favorite color is purple, so I wanted to do something that was light with pinks and purples and lilacs and that sort of thing. So I have a mop brush, and I'm just lightly giving my watercolor paper a gentle brush of water just to get the pores open in the paper and kind of open it up a bit. And then I'm laying down my color. I did 3 washes of color. I did a light, medium, and dark, and mocking a horizon line, so where the sun is the brightest at the horizon line, and then the sky goes darker as you go higher. I've done that sort of layout as well with this watercolor. So I'm doing my darker colors, my darker purple, blue colors towards the top, and my really pale light pinks and violets lower to the foreground, to the horizon. So this is probably similar to doing a stamp background, an ink stamp blending background, just using a different medium. So once that's dry, I'm carefully removing the masking tape that I used to hold it down. The masking tape helps as well because it will keep the paper flat, because watercolor paper does have a tendency to buckle or curl as it dries. So here I'm just trimming off the edges where the masking tape was and where the watercolor didn't quite hit the edges of the paper, just so I have a nice flush border. When I put this piece down on the card, then it all looks seamless around the edge. Now I'm trimming the background of the card. This is going to lay underneath the watercolor and peek out on the edges. I'm using washi tape. I actually got this at the dollar store. We have a Dollar Tree across the road from where I work, and it's pretty sweet. They have the coolest stuff. So knowing that pink and purple are my mom's favorite color, I decided to do this color washi tape. And I love the glitter. I love everything that just sparkles, and it just makes me happy. So that's what I decided to do for this. Once I lay down my washi tape, I'm taking my ruler and trimming it with my X-Acto knife to get a nice, even, smooth cut. I know you can trim this with scissors. The way I learned in design school was to use a ruler and a knife. You always get a nice straight cut, a straight edge, and it's easier to line things up to make sure that you cut them straight than if you were to use a pair of scissors. So every time I cut, it takes a little bit longer, but I always do it this way. And here I'm just trimming the edges because I didn't feel that the watercolor, it kind of blotted on the edges, so I just want to trim that messiness off. So now I've got that ready, and I am putting foam tape on the back of the watercolor piece. I'd like that to raise up off the paper just a little bit to help give some dimension to the card. So I'm just getting these all in place, and then I'll peel the backings off the foam tape. And here I'm just going to line it up and put it on the card. For my next piece, I'm doing the sentiment banner, and this will be the Happy Mother's Day sign. Now, I do use the sentiment from the Mom and Me stamp set. So the story behind this is I started planning this card before I got the Mom and Me stamp set in the mail. During making this card, that stamp set arrived, which was great because it came in time for Mother's Day, but I didn't want to change the card that I was making because I really put a lot of thought into it, and I liked the way that it turned out. So I decided to use the sentiment from the Mom and Me stamp set. And so I'm just inking that up here, and I'll put that on my little sentiment banner. I cut the corners, or the edges as well, to be little flags, the little flag ends with the notches. So now I'm just laying out my pieces, making sure that all the proportions are correct and everything will fall where I want them to fall. And then I'm adding some two-way tape to my sentiment banner. And I'll peel that off and get that set there. And I need to make sure to leave a little bit of room at the bottom because I'm going to write the rest of my sentiment on the card there on top of the watercolor. So once I have that in place, then I'm going to continue on with the other elements. I'm going to put the foam tape on the back of each of these because I want those to pop up off the card as well. And so with my little pieces of toast, I want them to be angled a little bit at the top so they look like they're popping out of the toaster. And that's my mom and me. My mom and I go on a lot of adventures together. She loves to travel, and so do I, and we take road trips and do lots of crazy things. So I thought that this was a nice card for her. I added the lines and wrote the sentiment to the bottom. And just to give a finishing touch, I added a wink of Stella to the heart on the toaster. And that's my card. That was my Mother's Day card that I gave to my mom. I'm posting this video late because my mom does watch my channel and I didn't want her to see this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe, and you'll be notified as soon as my other videos are posted. I have some more card videos coming soon. Thanks so much for watching.